Pandit Supreet Deshpande is a third-generation musician in the illustrious family of noted musicologist late Pandit S.B. Deshpande. Initiated into world of tabla at a young age of 3, Supreet has learnt for over 20 years from his father, tabla virtuoso Pandit Kiran Deshpande, the foremost disciple and worthy successor of the Delhi Farrukhabad gharanas legendary Ustad Shaikh Dawood Khan sahib. He has also learned the intricacies of the Taal kriya from the illustrious Sangeet Vidwan Taalyogi Pandit Suresh Talwalkar, whose contribution in furthering the repertoire of tabla is unparalleled in modern times. He has traveled the world to perform at various concerts and is currently visiting Boston.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. Our guest today is Pandit Supreet Deshpande, who is visiting Boston and is getting ready for a solo concert. And we are very fortunate to be here with him right before the concert starts to have a few questions answered, I guess. So, welcome to Foundations TV.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. And Gauriji, I must thank Mahesh Lachankar, who is hosting me here. And it gives me an opportunity to interact with so many new people around. That is fantastic, and I really enjoy that.
Also, is this the first time you're in Boston?
No, I think it is 20th time when I am in Boston. So I've been coming to Boston since a very long time. I have, apart from tabla, I have a pharmaceutical company which is in drug discovery. And for that, we have some collaborations going on here around this area. So I have been coming here for quite some time.
Wonderful. So you're a very brilliant person, with an educational background as well as a classical instrumental background.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Gauriji, to say that. I don't think, I'm very different, but, I'm a mechanical engineer by education, a pharmaceutical entrepreneur by profession. But tabla is my life. So I think I may keep changing whatever else that I do, but this is one thing which is constant in my life.
So how young were you when you started playing tabla?
Well, my father is a great musician and one of the senior tabla players in India, Pandit Kiran Deshpande, who learned from Ustad Shaikh Dawood Khan of Hyderabad. And so, and my grandfather was a musicologist. He started the Bhatkhande Sangeet Mahavidyalaya in Jabalpur. So music was in the family. My grandfather's brothers were also musicians. So I didn't even know when did I start. At the age of 2.5, I'm told, and there is a photograph which, so I can believe, that I was on stage in the lap of my grandfather, he was singing and I was playing tabla. So it is since then, it has started.
Lovely. So how old were you when you first time performed individually?
Well, I have performed since then individually also bits and pieces, but the full-fledged solo concert, which was about an hour's duration, I played for at the age of 13.
That's pretty young too. That's really young. Huh?
Well, these days kids are doing fantastic jobs, so it's no more young to be 13. It's already a little bit old.
So have you been traveling the world and playing tabla all over the world?
Yeah, I have been performing all over the world for quite some time now. I think from the age of 16 or 17 when I started touring. And except for Australia, I think I have covered rest of the continents. I will not say all the countries, but quite a lot of countries. So it's, and that is not unusual. I must say that there are many artists who also have traveled so much and performed. But yes, for me the pleasure is to interact with people, through music and otherwise. Uh, so I have some very fantastic friends, scattered around the world because I was traveling at that time onwards.
Do you have a favorite country you've performed in?
Well, playing in, I must say Austria was fantastic because it is the heart of Western classical, Vienna. Well, and apart from that, wherever there is an appreciative audience, I think that is the place where an artist tries to explore beyond what he has already done. And that is what I try to do almost all the time. And I'm glad now that, uh, I get invited to places where people are not only interested, but are connoisseurs actually. So then it inspires the artist to perform, just stretch a bit.
So do you teach as well?
Well, I do to just 3 students because I don't have time to teach. One of them is in Boston, and he's going to play with me today. His name is Rohit Panchakshari, and he's doing his PhD in Harvard. Brilliant student, excellent memory, needs to practice more.
He's probably going to hear this too. So, going into a little more technical details of the instrument itself, can you talk a little bit about tabla as an instrument as compared to other drums and, just the trending of how things are changing these days?
Well, tabla is a brilliant instrument, there is no doubt about that, in the sense that it is one of the most advanced drums which has come out of classical music in India. Its predecessor was pakhavaj from the north, and mridangam was there in the south. So tabla, for that matter, because it is the youngest of the lot, is one of the most advanced instruments. So the inconveniences of other instruments or some limitations which were there have been, taken care of more or less in this instrument. So that way, tabla is a fantastic one, and then it gets tuned to a particular swar. So other than India, there are, or Hindustani music, there are very few drums which get tuned to a pitch. Very few. So tabla is probably the one that I certainly know of. And then, what has happened over the period of time is that tabla itself has evolved. The genesis of tabla was through gharanas. So it started in Delhi. Tabla originated in Delhi. And then as the students of that gharanas spread to in different geographies, their style, because of the influences of local music, their own creativity, slightly differed from the Puritan Delhi. So they were fantastic artists themselves. So people started following their style. So like this, various gharanas came into being. Punjab gharana is the only one which came out of pakhavaj. So it's a different style altogether. It is not emanating out of Delhi. It's a different part. But so there are various gharanas like Delhi, Punjab, Banaras, Lucknow, Farrukhabad. So all these gharanas put together have developed the repertoire of tabla. And because they were siloed in those times, because there was not much of communication happening, there was no recording available, and there were no influences. So every gharana has very specialized and unique compositions. So today we are privileged to have the benefit of a large repertoire to play from. And then gradually, as the interaction improved, the recordings were available of maestros to listen. Interaction with Western drums came into being, interaction with Carnatic music, and very intricate laikari started. So all those influenced the tabla players as well. And they started thinking of what to do next, what to do more than what it is available. So like this, tabla is now coming out of a very rich repertoire into a very creative zone, where influences are coming from all over the places, and artists are having their minds open. So that's a progression. It's, I think, a very natural and a beautiful progression.
So it is evolving, and there's a lot of like a blending happening between different gharana trends or styles.
Yeah, it is happening so. And, I think Ustad Zakir Hussain has been a transformational figure in the journey of tabla. Previously, Ustad Ahmad Jan Thirakwa was a similar transformational figure. So there are, periods where you can say that the influence of Thirakwa Kasa was so much that most of the people wanted to play like him. Now most of the people want to play like Zakir Bhai. Then there are other great tabla maestros, Pandit Swapan Chaudhary, Pandit Anindya Chatterjee, Pandit Kumar Bose. All these people are international names. These are very, I would say, high level of aesthetic brilliance. So these people are all there who are, taking tabla forward. And then we are privileged because we are seeing them, we are listening to them, we interact with them, and they bless us for what we are doing. So, it's like a great inspiration.
So, from what I'm hearing, originally or many, many years ago, there was this trend that people would learn from a certain gharana and they would be bound by the gharana, and there's not much blending or even exposure to something beyond their own gharana. So, that was the challenge, I guess, to learn beyond and go beyond those boundaries. But nowadays, there's recording, there's a lot of exposure, a lot of people see different things going on around them, not only within the gharanas, but also with different types of music. So, for today's student, my question to you is, what are the challenges that they would face?
Well, let me put it this way, that while it is a very fantastic atmosphere to be, where we are blending everything with everything, the maturity of the artist is decided by not how he blends, but what he chooses to blend. If he takes two disparate compositions and try to fuse it, it makes it so aesthetically he has to think about what to do, and that's a challenge. And how that thinking grows is by the sanskar, as I said, to be with the stalwarts, to see how they do it, talk to them, understand their thinking behind when they do something like this, what is going on. So the thought is very critically important. It's not just the skill, it is the mind which differentiates an artist. Skill can be acquired, but this has to be immersed and internalized kind of thing.
So it's not just having a passion to learn, but there's also this mindfulness and intelligence that goes into putting things together and building it up. That's very nice. So what is the, I guess my last question, what is the advice for tabla players all around the world?
Well, I am nobody to give advice to tabla players. There are fantastic tabla players around. There are my seniors who are currently playing tabla. So in presence of such stalwarts, it's pretty stupid for me to be, commenting upon what people should do. All I can say is that what works for one may not necessarily work for the other. So one has to find one's own way, even though the necessity of learning from somebody else is there. You have to learn and then find your own way to progress. I think this is the only learning which I can give to anybody else, because it's my own experience. And none of my, I've learned from two great people, my father Pandit Kiran Deshpande and Taalyogi Pandit Suresh Talwalkar. Both these people are very different kinds of tabla players, and very great tabla players in their own way. And I have learned from these people, and I don't play exactly like neither. It is different. I have influence of Pandit Anindya Chatterjee. I have influence of Zakir Bhai. I have influence of so many people. So that is what is the learning, that you have to keep your mind open, your ears open, and work hard.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thought, though. That's really nice what you just shared, So we are looking forward to your concert today. Thank you so much for giving us this time today.
Thank you, Gauriji. Thank you very much. Thank you, Foundation TV.